Hey guys, can everyone hear me well? Right, hey Mark. Always the first guy here. Right, just testing. How can everyone hear me? Right, hey Kanamba, nice to see you. Ellen, Graham, Desiree. Oh, nice and early. Right, hey Darren. Oh, welcome back, man. How was your trip? All right, Bob, nice to see you too. Oh, driving again. Yeah, yeah, time. Right. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Right. I'm doing good, Vincent. Thanks for asking. Right. Yeah, Darren, you managed to find gold. I think you were searching for gold, right? Pretty cool stuff there. Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing well. I haven't fully recovered from COVID, but I still have this lingering cough. Right. It just keeps popping up once in a while. It's freaking irritating. Yeah. But it's. I'm doing better. I'm doing better. Right. I'm just. I should be better in the next like a few days or so. Right, I've went through 3 courses of antibiotics. It's crazy, right? But yeah, I'm recovering quite well. Recovering quite well. Nice to see everyone here. Nice and early, right? Yeah, today's session might not be for everybody, especially when it comes to backtesting and EA, right? This is going to be pretty darn technical, right? I really dive a lot into this kind of stuff, right? I can show you how it works, right? Thank you, Moses. Right? Yeah, it's being a dad is very different, and not even prepares you for it. Hey, Calvin, nice to see you tune in. Um, Martingale EAs. So Desiree is asking, can we backtest Martingale EAs? We can. We cannot. They work until they don't work, right? So for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with what Martingale EAs are, it's like a martingale strategy. You know, you bet 1%, you lose 1%. You bet 2%, you lose 2%. You double up 4%, you lose 4%. You double up 8%, lose 8%. Double up 16%, you lose 16%. Right? So you keep doubling up until, based on the theory that sooner or later you're gonna be correct. Well, there is a theory behind that yeah, in the casino they don't work because um, uh, the the odds are maybe 50-50, pretty close to 50-50 when playing blackjack. But when you trade, and maybe you're taking a trade every time you hit the 61.8 retracement and the projection and a major resistance, your odds are maybe 70-80% to be correct. So technically, martingale as a strategy is more like a risk management approach to taking trades. Nothing wrong with it, but if you have a high hit rate strategy like a 70-80%, martingale could be something that work out, right? Because the odds of you getting 10 consecutive trades, lose 10 consecutive trades in a row with a high hit rate strategy like 70-80%, that is very rare, right? So martingale EAs can happen, but a lot of it depends on how accurate the hit rate. This is where hit rates are very important, and you're assuming a risk reward of 1:1. Okay. I'll show you some EAs, right? I think I only have created one or two, which I'm proud of, right? So I will show you some of the things about EAs, right? The Fibonacci concept I made a few, but they kick ass until they. I was very interested to see. So yeah, Darren created a Fibonacci EA. I'll be showing you in today's session the Fibonacci EA. I haven't fine-tuned it that much, but it looks quite interesting, right? We have a session that I kind of go straight today, quite fun. Muhit, nice to see you tuned in, right? And yes, Simon, nice to see you tuned in too. Right, yeah, we will debunk some of the popular EAs out there, trading strategies out there. We can download some of them. I can show you how you can download them and use them, right? Pretty interesting stuff, Some EAs that are out in the market, some EAs that you can custom build yourself, right? Some custom indicators that I've built. Today will be a kind of session where the lucky bunch of you guys who are tuned in, right? We're gonna take a look at it, take a look at them, all right? I encourage you guys that it's a super technical session. So ask your questions early, ask your questions as much as possible, right? And we'll do our best to answer them. Okay. Now, let's see. Okay, let's begin today's session. Guys, remember disclaimer. Everything in this webinar is educational in nature, so nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. Please do only due diligence before you guys trade. Hey, Syed, nice to see you tune in. Okay, especially when it comes to EAs now, I'm not gonna endorse any EA, right? Rather, we're gonna take a try to take as objective a view into EAs as possible. Okay. Now, let's see. It'll be a pretty fun exploratory session. Okay. We're gonna look at a couple of things, right? And I'm gonna pull up my thing over here. Oops, no, not this. Yeah, what's my pen? Yeah, a few things you're gonna look at. Backtesting. What is backtesting? What is forward testing? How can we use it, right? MT4 or MT5. I've done a hell lot of research onto here, right? I should be sharing with you my opinion, right? Different types of backtesting. There are a couple of types of backtesting that you can do. How long should you backtest? How long would the result be valid? When you backtest, tick data backtesting. Okay. Very, very important concept, tick data. When should you use tick data? When should you not use tick data, right? You don't need to use tick data technically for everything. We'll dive a little bit into what kind of strategies work best with tick data and what doesn't, right? And then we look at the accuracy of backtest, the quality of historical data when we backtest, and sorry, and how we can use it to trade, how we can use it to validate different trading strategies. Okay. Excuse me if I do cough once in a while. Still fully recovering from my throat. All right. So introducing your host for today, for those of you guys who are here for the first time. Right. My name is Desmond Leong. So I'm an external analyst over here at IC Markets, run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group, and also the Forex Army. Finalist for 2019, 2020, 2021, best FX and best equity research, right? Usually work the major financial institutions, telling them where the markets are heading, but we have a special partnership with IC Markets where we bring you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that take a trading to the next level. Okay, so yeah, I know I built a bunch of custom indicators and EAs over the Forex Army. Today I'll be presenting some of them. All right, how effective they are, not too sure. I'll be presenting some of them. Right, you can check me out on Instagram, Comfy Desmond. Otherwise, my website, the Forex Army. Okay, some key things that I want to direct you guys to. If you're here for the first time, ic.genesis.com/app, go check it out, right? You can register for a VIP account over there. As long as you have IC Markets account, you'll get access. You'll be able to get access to this, okay? Right? I mean, minimally $1,000 in your account. Few things that you want to look out for. We're really going to point you really quickly in the correct direction so we can begin today's pretty fun session, right? IC Markets webinars, if you haven't attended any, right, please watch these previous webinars that we did, right? We cover a lot of stuff, right? I think we just uploaded a couple more, right? So for those of you guys who are requesting, right, the scalping strategies, right? Oh man, I'm missing my swing trading strategy. Where is it? Oh, it's here, right? I can actually just move it around since I'm an admin, right? Just move it here. Move this here. So just move this here. Yep, there you go. And this weird one is a little bit out of place, right? I'm just gonna put it over here. Move this on top. No, wait, I'm gonna move this on top. Yeah. So for those of you guys who want to look at strategies, check this out, right? And then of course the reversal strategies I talk about. When I talk about what's the word I'm gonna say, right? We talk about scalping, right? And of course, the trading psychology is super important stuff. Syed, I'm glad you like the 4-part Fibonacci series. This is where is it? This, nope, not here. This part here, retracements, extensions, expansions, projections, that forms a core foundation of a lot of our trading strategies. Go check it out, super important stuff. All right, Vincent saying Mark Douglas said a sample of 2025 trades is enough. What do you think? 2025 trades depends. So yeah, Vincent saying that in the book, I think Trading the Zone, Mark Douglas said 20 to 25 trades is enough for a trading strategy. It depends on the time horizon, right? Is 20-25 trades over one day, or is it 20-25 trades over 1 month, right? Because you need to see the market conditions, right? If you had a trading strategy, right? If you had a trading strategy that was just trading a trend, right? It's just buying every time it's in a trend, and you happen to test a trading strategy during that 1 month where the market was trending and it was performing fantastically. It took 20 trades then, right? Does that mean it's going to work? No, because when the market stopped trending, the indicator, the EA, the strategy would stop working, right? Even though it fulfilled the criteria of 20-25 trades. So it's not just about, you know, the number of trades that you're going to take. It's also the market condition, right? You want to test it. Yeah, it needs to be robust, right? Yeah, you know, you drive a car, it looks great. The car functions great, you know, on a straight road terrain. But what happens if you go off the road, right? You know, you go into the dirt, the grass, right? You know, if you want an all-terrain car, you need to test it in every terrain. That's the same thing with a trading strategy, with an EA. You want it to work on every market condition, not only trending market conditions, unless you tend to take a semi-annual, a semi-automatic approach, semi-manual approach, semi-automatic approach, both are the same, right? A semi-automatic approach where you only turn on the EA when you feel like the markets are trending, right? Then you turn it off when you feel like the markets are not trending. So if you do that, then yes, maybe 20-25 trades in a trending market, you know, it works. It's good at buying at dips or selling at strengths, right? Then you know, yes, it can work, but you need to test the different market conditions. Super important point to take note when you are testing your EAs. Okay, now guys, the last page I want to point you guys to, right, is the trading analysis, right? This we have a new bunch of analysts coming in, right? There's me, right? There's Cassandra, right? You have seen Jin, right? He has a different approach to trading, right? And some of you gave really good feedback on his style of trading, right? So please continue to watch. I think he covered the most recent webinars. Could be him. Yep, he covered the most recent webinars. You can check it out, right? So different style, a bit more fundamental, pretty fun, right? But it's a good blend because I'm super technical, it's super fundamental, right? It's a good blend. If you know how to apply the best of both worlds, it'll be a really good trading strategy, right? We have Annabelle coming in soon. She should be presenting next week or the week after. Yeah, it should be next week. She'll be presenting next week on a pretty fun topic, right? Interpreting market earnings reports, right? So go check it out. Go check it out for sure. She'll be presenting next week. All right. Yeah. So yeah, it's a live market analysis, right? Actually, oh yeah, she's over here. Okay. Now let's begin today's session, right? First and foremost, let's come back to here. Nope, not this one. Backtesting. The concept of backtesting is, hey Umas, nice to see you tune in. The concept of backtesting, right? Let me just really quick for those, in case anyone, a lot of people watch our webinars, right, and don't understand the concept of backtesting. Backtesting is when you create an indicator, create an EA, right, and you have a strategy. Maybe you think that your strategy works in a certain way, right, and you want to see how it works over long run. Usually, this is what we do, right? So maybe we come here, right? We come here, sorry, this is a strategy I'm looking at, right? And then we have an idea. We have an idea that the market, this is our strategy. The market will react off the 127% retracement, right? Just playing the Nike tick strategy over here. You can see it worked out very nicely, reverse, right? I think there was a, those of you guys, I hope you managed to catch the, so why I encourage you guys to come in here is because you can then, in the VIP room, right, you can come in, you can post your analysis and I can give my feedback, right? So I think Kurban actually posted his analysis of the Nike tick, right? And there was a nice little bit of discussion on it. Yeah, took the trade, play out while I was sleeping. Yeah, I can see Kurban say, oh, Nike tick. We got Audrey coming in saying that there's a 100% projection. There was a 127% Nike tick, right? Then asking what you guys think, right? I thought it worked quite well. Just that this price movement here, the spike, you know, is not consistent across different brokers. But we did see that, you know, price touch the Nike tick here, reversed very nicely. Okay, so if this was the strategy, right? The traditional approach, right? The traditional approach is that if we were to do it manually, it would require us to come in here. I draw another one over here, this Nike tick. Wow, it touched the 127, it reversed. Very nice. Okay, now I'm going to do another one, right? I'm going to remove all drawings. I come in here again, right? Maybe I do another Nike tick, very big Nike tick over here, right? It touched the 127. You can see it dropped down very nicely. Make money again, really great. But this is only 3 examples. If I want to do 1,000 examples over here, right? It's going to be super duper tiring. It's going to be super duper tiring, right? But it's nice that in the past few setups, we already got like three nice Nike tick, profitable Nike tick setups. All right, but yeah, it can be very tedious, right? And I can do another one over here. This is too far away, but yeah, no, if you do it manually, right, it can be very tiring, right? In this case over here, right, this one I worked off. No, this one didn't work out. No, it actually might have hit the 127 here, right, and reverse a bit before dropping down further, right? So there are a lot of different ways you can test it out, but manually testing it out can be tiring. Hence, we then introduce backtesting, right? Backtesting works very well. All right, what backtesting is basically the MT4 letting you know that, hey, I'm going to show you how to, what's the word for it? You need to code it first into what we call an expert advisor. EA here stands for expert advisor. Okay, meaning that my idea, right? My idea of this Nike tick kind of formation, this Nike tick formation, this needs to put into code, right? I cannot tell the MT4, I cannot tell MT5, take a trade for me when price hits the 127%, right? It is going to ask me things like, how do I know this is a Nike tick? How do I know it needs to be like this? Could it be like this? Could it be like this? How do I know is this movement? How do I know is this movement? Right? That is where we need to define very clearly, right? Darren, if you're creating your EA, right, I'll be showing you some of the things that some of the thought process that goes into creating a good EA. I think maybe you can throw that in, it'll be great. First things I need to consider this movement here, right? I'll share with you guys how I created an indicator, which I'll be sharing with you guys soon. This movement here, how do you need to define it? Why is this movement different from this movement? Why is this movement different from this movement, right? A trick that you can use is this thing, ATR, okay? I hope I don't have long COVID, man. I mean, I should be recovered by my cough by now, right? But for some reason, I'm not recovered yet. But all right, so what is the difference? How is this different from this, different from this, right? One thing that you can use is this concept called ATR. ATR means average true range, okay? Pull it up, ATR. I use it in almost all my indicators, right? So what I tend to do is that, where is my horizontal line? Maybe at this point in time, I decide whether this movement, right, is valid, right? I believe a Nike tick, right? A Nike tick should be price range from here to here. A Nike tick should minimally be 57 pips, okay? 57 pips, okay? So with that in mind, I then come into here and see this, okay? This is 14 pips, right? 0014 is 14 pips over here. So I would then take, as long as 14 pips times 4 equals 56, which is roughly the same as 57, right? As long as my price movement from here, I'm going to call this point A to point B. As long as point A to point B is bigger than ATR times 4, right? I'll be okay with this being my first leg of the Nike tick. Okay, oh, 3 times ATR, right? 3 times, 4 times, yeah, you know, 4, 8, 12, did I get it right? Yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16, right? And then you need to decide, okay, how big you want this move to be over here, right? In this case, yeah, it needs to be bigger, right? How straight the line needs to be. I use that a zigzag indicator, right? So you need to know there are a little bit more things you can code in, like how you want the zigzag indicator to behave, how sensitive you want the zigzag indicator. These are things that you can code in, right? How it then looks like, all right? How it then looks like, let me see over here. right? Let me see if I got the correct one for you guys. Okay, let me put it out over here. IC markets, okay, MT4, MT5, right? Let me touch on this. We know the concept of backtesting now. Backtesting is basically how price would behave. You know, as in like putting a strategy that you have into code, correct? Then we need to decide, do we want to do it on MT4 and MT5? What is the difference? Okay, MT4, if I remember correctly, has this thing called a 2 GB RAM limitation. 2 GB RAM limitation. Either a 2 or 4 GB RAM limitation. That means that you can have the most powerful computer in the world, but MT4 will still be super slow because it'll be like, hey, I cannot utilize the computer fully, right? Density is not necessary by 4. You can use 3, ATR times 3, ATR times 4. But ATR is a good gauge for you to decide on the how big you want the minimum leg to be. Okay, because that's an important consideration. Now, MT4, MT5, right? So the one problem when it comes to backtesting MT4 is that it can work, but the because of this, you might find yourself having super slow. A rough gauge is that what takes MT4 something like 10 minutes to backtest might take MT5 1 minute to backtest, right? So sometimes you have a trading strategy, right? Yes, you have a trading strategy, and Darren made a good point, right? Zaba, I think, yeah, it'll be uploaded, but it usually takes a few weeks for it to be uploaded, right? But anyway, I just started in some sense, right? So MT5, right, it multi-core ability allows you to backtest a lot better. So it's able, like when you use your computer, all right, some things that I want to show you guys. Do I have it here? Yeah, you know, on your computer, you can just right click, you can see properties, right? Then you know, okay, you know, I got property over here, right? Like for mine is i7 8770. I got 32 gigabytes inside, so I know this is, if I'm not wrong, it's quad core, so there are 8 cores, right? And then, right, if you go into something like MT5, agents is what you want to see. Oh, I actually have 12 core, right? You can see I got 12 cores that are ready to be used when I'm backtesting. So yeah, I got local, I got 12 cores over here. You can see I got 12 cores over here. You can even use the what we call the local network farm, or you can use the MQL5 network farm. Meaning that imagine if you want to backtest a super duper big EA, right? Something which is going to be going to take your computer maybe 10 hours to backtest. Even with 12 cores, it's going to take you 10 hours, right? You can actually leverage on the resource power of anyone out there who's using MT5 and run the backtesting there too, right? So you might be borrowing somebody's computer. You will need to pay for this, by the way. You will need to pay for this, right? But I believe the price is very, very reasonable, super duper cheap, right? But you're basically paying for the processing power of someone else on the network. And what they do is that you borrow the processing powers. Maybe they have another 12 cores, another guy have another 12 cores, right? So you know you got 541 agents there, right? You know you can see, well, yeah, you can see, you know, actually a lot of them are not being utilized, right? So yeah, you know, you can borrow the processing power, and what might have taken your computer 10 hours to test, maybe it's just going to take it like 10 minutes, right? Because you borrow the processing power of everyone. Okay. um oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a little bit wary. I'm not sure how they calculate it, but because yes, you can actually borrow the processing power of people. It's pretty cool. I have to admit that this thing's pretty cool. Considering that I think on MT4 you can only use 1 core, which is really, really terrible, right? You can only use 1 core, and hence it's not going to be that effective, right? It takes super duper long, right? So when it comes to backtesting, right? When it comes to backtesting, as I said over here, if you are creating if you're creating an EA, a new strategy from scratch, go for MT5 if you can. Unless there's some special reason why you want to use MT4, right? It is usually better to test to backtest your MT5. It'll be a lot faster, right? Zabra is saying, I'm currently developing an EA which will automate my manual trading strategy, semi-automatic with many variables needed to be set for. Very excited. I'm very excited for you too. Let me know how the backtesting will go. I think you'll find today's session very useful as I talk about the different things when it comes to backtesting. Okay. So yes, go test it out on MT5, right? Now the thing about MT4 too, for those of you who are stuck with MT4, right, there is no proper way to do real tick data backtesting. In fact, on MT4, right, you even need to go to let me show you here, right? You even need to go to like not tick data, right? MT4, you need to go to tick story, or you need to go to EA review, right? Just to do just to download, right? Just to download, where is it? Yeah, just to download, where is crap? Yeah, you can see like these are important things, right? This guy here, you can enable slippage, you can do a spread multiplier, reproducible slippage and stuff like that. All these things which are not on MT4, this is like you need to pay for this program, right? You can show that MQ all for regular MT4 backtest looks great, but if you use the proper tick data backtesting, suddenly the results differ a lot, right? So you might have been lured into the false sense of being able to make money with this, right? But then if you actually use real tick data, right? So you can see this how it's different, right? MT4 interpolated data, but tick data is actually different. It makes it a lot more accurate, right? So that's the thing when it comes to MT4 backtester. You need to actually download something external, something like this. I think they have a 2-week trial for it, but then it becomes very expensive when you try to buy it. So I'm not a big fan of it, right? Because the reason why I'm not a big fan is because MT5 has a built-in tick data backtesting, which is freaking good, right? And if you're using IC Markets, I was testing out the historical data, right? It actually is pretty good too, right? With IC Markets, the tick data that they provide is one of the best. Okay. Marcina's asking, are you referring to testing only EAs? My own strategy. Marcina's asking, today's session is testing EAs, right? There is a manual backtesting and there's an automated backtesting, right? When we are testing EAs, I'm going to show you how you can backtest algorithmically. If you're doing manual backtesting, there are other ways to do it. I'm just going to give you one quick tip, right? If you're doing manual backtesting, go onto MT Trading View. Use this thing here called a replay feature, right? So I might do a replay feature over here, right? And I go like, okay, right? Press this bar. Each time you press, you can see the bar move one by one. Then I say that, all right, I have a Nike tick over here, right? This is my trading strategy. I would take my trade from the 1 to 7%. Let me see how it work out, right? One blah blah blah, right? Goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, I've taken the trade. Let me start to manually backtest it, right? I'm going to put my stop loss maybe at a 145%. I'm going to put my take profit down here where it break out, right? Next bar. Oh, I've hit my take profit. That's great, right? And then you can use this as a form of manual backtesting, right? But in today's session, it's more on algorithmic trading, right? I think TradingView allows you the free account, right? Free account you can do quite a lot of stuff with their free account already. So do go check it out. All right. But yeah, if you can use MT5, different types of backtesting, right? I'll be showing you the different types of backtesting over here on MT5, right? When you want to backtest, right? You can choose this thing over here. Every tick based on real ticks, 1 minute open, high, low, close, open price calculations, and math calculations. Let me show you the difference, right? If I'll show you the difference in so math calculations are usually not that accurate. The results should be disregarded, right? So but the thing about math calculations is super fast, right? So I run it and oh wait. Okay, now I forget about math calculations. We do open prices only, right? Open prices, notice, wow, it gets done super fast. Now, it took how many trades for me, right? This one, it took, you can see, it took Total trades, 3 trades. Okay, it took 3 trades for me. However, I come in here and I'm going to go to 1 minute open, high, low, close. Bam, it should be pretty fast too, right? You can see this little bar at the bottom that being tested. Simon, if you want to transfer from MT4 to MT5, you need to close all your accounts or choose MT4 and move your funds over to MT5. Okay, now we come here. Wow, look at that, right? 11 trades, 11 trades on 1 minute open, high, low, close. Okay, now it's very different, right? Because I was using 1 minute open, high, low, close, but in open prices is very different. Now every tick based on real ticks is the slowest but the most accurate. Okay, how slow is it? I'm going to show you how slow it can be. Every tick based on real tick, right? This one took us what, 19 seconds. This one is going to take us a long time. It's going to take a while, right? Well, it's going to take us about 4 or 5 minutes. But when do you use something like open prices, right? That depends on your trading strategy. Let me just say, go into the charts over here. Okay, now there are some trading strategies where tick data is very important, right? If you are creating EA or you get someone to create an EA, ask them to be able to, this trading strategy, you must know whether you want to control bar, what's the word for it? You want to control the pricing, the bar pricing. If I'm not wrong, that's what it's called. Okay, let me show you the difference here. How do I do this here? So let me think of an example. In a scalping strategy, when you have trades which are a lot more time sensitive, that is where tick data backtesting is very important. Like for this example over here, all right, this example over here, I got in over here, and in one trade, I would have hit my profit over here. So tick data backtesting is very important for me, right? Because I could have, in this bar, technically, price could have went all the way down. It could have went all the way up, all the way down, all the way up a few times, right? So if you use open, high, low, close, you're actually only considering, the in-betweens, right? You're not considering that the movement of price. This looks like one bar, but price could have went up and down, 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 multiple times in between. Now, imagine, let me show you where it might be different. If I took a trade, if my trade entry was, let me think of example. If my entry was over here, right? My stop loss was, very tight over here, and my take profit was over here. Okay. Now let me do a bar replay. I'm going to look at this bar. Okay, so this is my entry. Okay, this is my sell entry, right? This is my stop loss, right? And this is my take profit down here. Okay, now we have trading strategies like this. If we don't use tick data and we press bam, next bar, okay, did my stop loss get hit first? Did my take profit get hit first? How would I know? I know my entry got triggered. I do not know if price reached here first, then go down, right? So I might have got stopped out here, or did price reach my entry, go down, hit my take profit, then come up to my stop loss? Then I don't care because I will have made money. So if you're using open, high, low, close, right? The movement of price within here, right? You would have lost it, right? Meaning that you would your trading strategy might say, oh, you made money over here, but for all you know, you might have lost money because a lot of it depends on this bar over here. What was the tick data price movement as you went up and down, right? Once I worked out how to use the generic EA testing, got much faster. Then I use real tick data to find results to check. Oh yeah, optimization does help quite a bit. Let's see over here. See real tick data. Oh man, we're probably about 40 seconds away, right? You can see the graph goes down, goes up. a bit. Yeah, but saying this result is very different, right? This result is very different when we had initially used open, high, low, close, right? Suddenly it becomes it doesn't look as good, correct? Now the great thing about this is that you can where is it? You find it in the where is it? No, here. Oh yes, sorry, I can't believe I completely missed it out over here, right? But you can emulate slippage. Okay, that's another, yeah, random delay is very good. Now, important thing is that don't use your last ping to your server, right, when you are locked out, because your ping might be like 10,000. If the market is closed, right, sometimes this is our default setting, right? This is our default settings, right? If the markets are closed, the ping shoots up, right? And then when we do the testing, we might be using, instead of 244 milliseconds, it might be like 2000 milliseconds, right? You make our trading very inaccurate, right? So it's an important thing here when it comes to delays too. Okay, forward testing, right? Let me show you in a bit. Now, I do want to show you guys like the visual mode. Why it's very important. Sometimes we do not know when we're back testing whether it really is correct or is it wrong, right? So that's where you can click on this thing called visual mode. Okay, when we start back testing, an additional thing should come up over here, right? And then, of course, how do I hide the grid? Yeah, I don't want the grid, right? And maybe I don't need something so big, right? So you got a strategy tester, and you can let it move, and you move it all the way here, it becomes very fast, right? But I move it here, then you maybe move it like slightly slower, right? Then you can see, okay, this is the performance, right? And you just monitor it very, very slowly, and you see if it's behaving the way that you expect it to behave, right? So you can see this is how the EA is actually trying to calculate the zigzag. The zigzag is the ABC, right? So when it's trying to calculate zigzag, the moment it becomes invalid, they delete it, right? So I need to probably zoom in a bit over here, right? You can see, okay, this is AB is trying to find C as the pending order, right, at the 127, right? It's going to inch down. Okay, not valid, it deletes it again, right? So a very good way when you're creating an EA first, visually backtest it, because what you coded and what you think is going to behave are two completely different things. You might think it's trading correctly, but trust me, I had to go through like at least like 5 or 6 different iterations of the EA until I kind of figure it out, like, okay, the EA was actually taking the trades wrongly. So this is the good thing about visual mode. You get to see whether your EA is behaving the way that you expect it to behave, right? So in this case, yeah, mine seems to be behaving quite well, right, in the way that I expect it to behave, right? All right, now let me stop this over here. Okay, so that is what visual mode is for, and these are different modeling, right? Now, if some things that you can do, right, if you don't trust, right, if you don't trust the quality of data, right, that maybe you want to hold yourself to the highest standard of tick data, right? It's like I only want the best tick data. That is where you can download a trial, right, of the site I showed you just now. There's a few places where you can download raw tick data. Okay, and with that tick data, you can then I'll show you how to do it, right? You can actually create your own custom tick data to be used in testing. What you need to do is code a file, right? View symbols. I'm going to create a tick data for maybe Forex. IC markets, you need to use maybe majors. I'm going to create pound dollar. Okay, what you need to do is you need to click on this thing called create custom symbol. Create custom symbol, right? We want to copy it from pound dollar copy it from pound dollar. Do we want to call it something else? Take data here. Okay, I don't think we need to import anything. Yeah, you don't need to import. You click okay, done. It's now created, right? So this is my tick data over here. Okay, custom Forex major say GBP. Yeah, this is the one I have over here, right? Notice there's nothing on the bars and tick data. You can request it, which will download from the server, no problem about that. or you can import. So I can import, right? I downloaded some of my custom tick data. I can see over here, double click, right? It shows you all the data over here, right? If you need to shift it by any hours, up to us. I can't remember I need to shift mine, but yeah, okay, right? And then it starts importing, right? It imports all the tick data. So you now have your own you have your own tick data, right? Sometimes especially for exotics, right, you might not have as much tick data as you might want, right? So that's where you can download maybe the tick data that they provide you is only like 1 month's worth, right? But if you want to download external tick data, this is a place that you can go to, right? Online eareview.net, right? A couple of different places. You can download the tick data you want and then export it to here. May download 10 years worth of tick data, export it to over here, right? And then import it into here. Then you now have your own custom tick data. And I'm going to show you the quality of the tick data later. Clinton's asking how to get EA for Nike Tick. I will release it in the VIP room, right? But probably to the higher rank people, right? So that you guys can play around with it. Right? Always looking for to reward the people who are in the VIP room. So yeah, the Nike Tick EA is something we spend a lot of time creating, right? It seems to perform pretty well across different different currency pairs, right? Oh my God, we're taking so long for pound dollar to load, right? They actually say I'm inspired to code in the EA to help me with backtesting. I hope it's not too difficult. Any videos? Desiree, I think it would be better to pay $100 to someone online to help you create the EA, right? Go to freelancer.com. There are a lot of them out there. There are quite a number of people, especially on Freelancer or Upwork, they can go to create an EA for you, right? So I recommend it's easier. Your time is precious, right? Go and get it created by someone else instead. Okay. Hey, Leandro, good morning. So yeah, we now have our we now have this. Do I need to click create custom symbol? Yeah, okay, it's here. Click OK. So now we have this. We might want to import the bars later, but yeah, we now have tick data. All right. So when I'm testing my EA, I can then go to, instead of using pound dollar over here, I can use my own custom one, Forex majors. I now have my own custom pound dollar tick data, the one that I trust a little bit more, right? I'm going to test it on H1 data, right? Oh man, it's going to be so slow, right? Every tick based on real ticks, right? A faster calculation. Then we can test it. Then you can test it over here. There we go. So this tick data that is being used, right? I'm gonna see, even when I fast forward, it's still so slow. Oh, there we go, right? Even when we what's the word for it? Oh, this is nice. Do you see that? Do you see that move over there? Right. Let me show you guys again. I need to do it slower to show you how the EA works for those of you guys who are interested, right? I'm going to do a visual mode back test on this again. Okay, so you can see I have slowed it down a bit. I think I've paused it, right? So this is the Nike Tick EA, right? So it identified, right? Let me explain to you guys how it works. What I'm of course looking for is how to get my handy dandy pen, right? So it identified here XA. That means oh, how do I change my pen color? Right, right. So yeah, it identified here the first movement. Then this is a Nike tick that it found, right? So it requires AB to be a clean movement up here. Then it draws the Nike tick all the way down, right? So the 127 is about here. Price then comes down, it touches the 127 here, right? I have the trading strategy puts my stop loss at 145%, and my take profit should be 23%. I don't know why it's so far away, right? It's a little bit sus, right? Then we can see price slowly, working out. So you can see how, this is important, the way the bar is behaving, right? The way the bar is behaving, even when it is not and not doing anything. So this bar movement is very important, right? Especially when you're scalping. Okay, then we can see price move a little bit more. a little bit more, adjust the TP, there you go, and you hit a nice little take profit over there. Okay, yeah, so this is how the EA works. It's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. I do need to check something though. How come my take profit is at 23%? So yeah, it seems my take profit calculation is a little bit wrong. Place order at 138, take profit at 23, right? So sometimes the good thing about a strategy tester, right, is that when you are visually backtesting it, right, when you're visually backtesting it like I'm doing now, I would then come in here, right, and see price touch my 23% here. My take profit should not be so far away, right? So I know something is wrong. This is not 23% of the entire move. This is more like 38%, right? So I'm a little bit, I realized that, yeah, it took the 23% from here. That is the mistake. That is the mistake. Okay, I need to fine tune the EA a bit. Yeah, man, I found a mistake with my EA when when we are testing it live. Interesting point, right? The way it found it is correct, just that the take profit calculation should be 23% from here, not from this ending point over here, right? The zigzag reprints, but you should be taking it from the low, right? It should be taking it based on the price over here, not on the. There's a way to counter the zigzag reprinting, right? In this case, yeah, the zigzag, this point, see, yeah, there you go. See, it went all the way down there once the trade is done. So that is a problem with the with sometimes with this kind of back testing, right? With the zigzag indicator especially, it reprints, and yeah, yeah, I get extra money, but that's not how the strategy should work. Frustrating, man. I need to go look at the code again, right? It sucks, right? But yeah, this is the benefit of backtesting visually, right? Visually, you only really use it, right? Let me just erase everything. You only really use it more for to visually see whether your EA is behaving the way that it should be behaving, right? And that is really the great part of proper strategy tester, right? Like in this example here today, right? I would not have noticed it if I did not. Oh yeah, see, it triggered the entry. Oh well, then very nice, right? Yeah, so I would not have noticed this if I did not visually backtest it. There you go. You got a Nike tick over here, right? And yeah, this is an example. Nike tick A, B, went all the way to the entry here. My take profit should have been over here. I should have hit my take profit already, but because of the wrong calculation, right? Because of the wrong calculation of my point C take profit should be over here. So my take profit should be before this point A over here. So I would have hit my take profit over here, right? But because, right, the calculation is wrong, my take profit is slightly further away, right? So I don't know how this will turn out. I'm just gonna move it slowly so we can observe it together, right? Okay, oh, this is way too slow, right? Maybe move it. Yep. See how is it? See, it got stopped out instead, right? You can see the trade got stopped out instead. I could have made a profit there, right? But because of the EA calculation, the take profit calculation is slightly off, right? I end up getting stopped out, right? So it's something I need to look at myself. But yeah, it's an interesting point, right? So it's all real, a real life, when looking at strategy tester, you will keep learning so many things, right? When it comes to this, I will be giving you guys an indicator, right, which you guys can use, right? This is the indicator, right? So as long as a VIP room, I'm going to announce how people are going to get it later, right? It's a nice little thing you can see here. How do I do a chart shift? All right. Oops. Yeah. So it's a nice little indicator that tries to help you find the Nike tick kind of levels, right? So I think it might have chart window on Aussie Kiwi, right? It's going to be called the Fibo confluence indicator. Fibo indicator is very boring. Yeah, so it's going to be called the Fibo confluence indicator. you can then choose whether you want to throw in Fibonacci expansions, right? So I have a certain function. Yes, it's for MT5, right? Enough people has been asking me about MT5. That's why I've decided to create this for MT5. I have an MT4 version instead, but this is the one. Yes. Uh, oh, interesting, Darren. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, and you guys can use it, right? Right. Negative. The Fibonacci extension values. Yes, it will use this, and it will use 127, right? It's not going to use this, right? And yeah, there you go. We put our entry at 127%, put our stop loss at 145, TP there, right? It can alert you when price is maybe at 110%, so it's close enough to your entry. It will send you an alert. It will send you a suggested stop loss, or you can choose whether you want to show that or not, right? Sound alert, push alert to your handphone, email alert if you want, right? Set it up. There we go. You know, it starts looking for your Fibonacci for the Nike ticks. Okay, you probably want to load this across all the indicators, all the symbols that you have, and only take a look at it when the market shows you, alerts you. Otherwise, there's no point watching so many markets. Okay. Now, I do want to make sure that we're on track to cover, right? The tick data backtesting, super important. Like the thing I shared with you earlier over here, right? Tick data backtesting would allow us to know whether we hit our take profit or hit our stop loss, right? Even though it is all in the same candle, right? It's all in the same candle here, but without tick data, you will never know once price hit your entry, did it hit your stop loss first or did it hit your take profit first? That is the importance of tick data backtesting. However, if your trading strategy is different, if your trading strategy is something like moving average cross, if your trading strategy is something like sorry, give me a second, I'm almost there. Okay, okay. Imagine if your trading strategy was something like this instead. Okay, take a trade when it crosses the black moving average, meaning this one. Okay, this was where you take in a trade, right? And then you must explicitly control bar pricing very closely, right? Marcina, yes, I'll be posting the MT5 indicator in VIP room probably tomorrow. If closing the bar to trade, yes. So if your strategy says that when bar closes below the, in this case, the moving average, right? In this case, it closed below the moving average, then close off your trade. If that is a rule, you don't need tick data, right? Because it's very, very clear, you close off at the closing price over here, right? If that is how you control it, if you have stop loss and take profit placement, like I showed you earlier, then you need tick data, right? If you're using like the opening and closing of prices to trigger entries and exits, right? You don't need to use tick data. Don't waste your time getting expensive tick data and taking such a long time to backtest it, because I showed you, you know, if you don't need to use tick data, your backtesting can be 100 times faster, even with MT5, right? So know your strategy, right? Does your strategy really require tick data, right? If it doesn't, don't use it. I know a lot of people say tick data is the holy grail when it comes to back testing. People are always asking, did you use tick data to test, right? What is your testing quality, right? What they're referring to is back, well, I think, let me just show you real quick, 1 minute open, high, low, close. Back testing, it should show you just well, it's taking so long. I can skip to this, right? Let the back testing be done. Let me show you when people are talking about like the purists are talking about the quality of the back test, what they're referring to, right? They are actually so slow, man. They are referring to this thing, the history quality, right? They want the history quality to be super good. The good thing about getting good tick data, right, is that the history quality, you know, naturally 100% is super good, right? Usually most of the time, right, if you backtest with lousy data, you get a history quality of 90%, 80%, not that good. Okay, so yeah, you know, don't be too absorbed by this history quality. Remember, depending on the EA that you're testing, you might want to use tick data, or you might just want to use open, high, low, close, right? There's nothing wrong with using open, high, low, close, especially if, like in this strategy that I shared with you, right? You know, you are using your entries and your exits, you know, based on the market of the bar opening and closing. Okay, so important point to take note of, right, guys? What I want to encourage you guys is that, yeah, you know, I will be sharing the indicator. Maybe I share the MT4 one first, right? Maybe the indicator first, because the EA, I don't trust the EA yet, right? It'll be very bad if I share EA. I might not be allowed to share the EA yet, but I could share the indicator with you guys, right? The indicator is something really simple, right? The indicator allows you to pull up a chart, right, and it actually alerts you, right, when price makes a X to A is nothing. It's the A, B, and B, C that you're looking for, right? So in this case, it's scanning for 161.8 over here. It's looking for this Nike tick. XA was just created, right? XA was created just to ensure that the movement of A to B is a nice movement, right? The last, the reason is because we don't want a case like, let me see if I can give you an example. We don't want a case where, you know, a to B is over here, right? But then this is a small little movement, right? This is not a significant movement. This is a significant movement. This is a significant. This is significant. This is significant, right? Then that's the reason for X to A. If you guys are using it, it helps you establish that there was a big move before. So this movement down and this movement up is more likely to be a nice Nike tick, right? As I can see, these are nice Nike ticks. These are nice Nike ticks. These are nice Nike ticks, right? How nice a Nike tick is depends on what happened before it, right? If the price was doing this, then you know it's not a nice Nike thing. If the price was doing this, then it's not a nice Nike thing. If the price was like that, right, then you know this is a nice Nike tick that you're looking at, because it's a nice zigzag movement. The previous price movement behavior, right, before the Nike tick happens is super important, right? So guys, that's something I want to teach you guys, right? When it comes to creating EAs, it's all about creating the filters, because sometimes, you know, you have two bad filters and they don't look that nice, right? But if you know how to create it properly, right, you can, it's all in creating the filter so that, you know, you take the right trades. You won't find something as equally as good as your own human eyes can get it, but you know, by and large, if you know how to use it correctly, you know, you get 80% of the trade straight EA. That is enough. Okay, guys. And then I've came to the end of today's webinar, right? I do need to I do need to launch a poll today for you guys. So please do a quick little review for me, guys, right? If you find it useful, help me vote whether, you know, finding it 4 or 5. 5 would be great, because I got a review with them coming up soon, right? And if it's if you think that certain parts can be improved, let me know. I will try to improve it too. Right, but today's session was a big request from people who were very interested in indicators and EAs, right? I want to do a deep dive into knowing how to better use it, right? So yeah, I hope you found this session useful, right? You know, it helps you know how to create better EAs, know what to test, right? Use MT5 instead of MT4, you know, when to use tick data, when not to use tick data, profit factors to look out for, visual, you know, how to backtest it visually. You know, these are all very, very important things. All right. Okay, guys, right? As always, thank you very much. You know, we got a good 100% of you guys voted 4 and 5, right? Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Desiree, right? Thank you, Bob, right? Thank you, Kanemba, Marzina, right? It's a great session with you guys today, right? Marzina, I think the recording might be up either end of this week or end of next week. It depends on IC Markets how soon they can upload it. Hopefully, it'll be pretty soon, right? I hope you found this session useful, right? Thank you so much for tuning in without fail every week. Hang out in the VIP room more. You know, we're trying to find more setups, right? If I pass this indicator to you guys, please do me a favor and try to help me find more of these Nike tick setups. All right, right. If you find it, just post it in the trading room. Okay, right. Syed, the little guy is doing great. Let me see if I have I have a photo of him, right? Some of you guys are requesting for the photo. Maybe I gotta stop sharing my screen over here. All right. Do I have a photo of my kid? I might not have a photo of my kid, man. Hey, camera, how's he doing? Yeah, he's growing up a bit. Right. Yeah. You guys want to see it, right? This is him. Yeah, it's just over there. Yeah. So he's doing okay. Yeah, I put him on a little rocker. He's a cute boy. He's growing quite well. He doesn't look like me yet. Yeah, he doesn't look like me yet. Cute guy. Yeah. Yeah, it's good looking lad, right? I'm sure you got some of my genes, man. No, Kelvin, you don't ditch MT4 entirely, right? MT4 is great for trading too, right? But more if you want to do back testing, right? Then I think MT5 is really great, right? Yeah, I think it resembles his mom a little bit more. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, he's a cute guy, right? Yeah, he'll take over my spot one day. Yeah, they grow very fast right now. I mean, he was born at 2.7 kg. Now he's like 6.5. I'm like, wow, you almost triple your weight so far, right? It's crazy. It's crazy, right? But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun, right? Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone, right? Yeah, thank you to Simon. I hope my cough gets well soon. I catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow might not be me. Tomorrow might be Jin, right? Yeah, so I'll catch you guys either tomorrow or in the VIP room, right? Stay Means will be there, so I couldn't train in the VIP room as much at the poor reception hospital. Oh, I hope you're feeling better, right? I hope you're feeling better, right? And yes, Desiree owe me lunch, so yeah, let's have lunch soon, right? Yeah, we can definitely grow our accounts with this. Have a good day, guys, right? Stay safe, trade safe. I'm gonna go grab dinner, right? So I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the VIP room or next week, all right? Peace out, guys. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in once again. Bye bye. Adios, guys. Bye.